Hello everybody, this is the first post of my little bicycle blog thing. Let's see how all this goes. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. Just going to go out on a little ride today. My name's Michael, and hope you all like what I got for you. I've been riding for, I don't know, since I was a kid, but just get back into the road cycling. I was really road cycling hard when I was in college over at community college back here in Florida, and did a little bit when I actually went away to state college, but not as much. So it's kind of nice to be back at it. I'm sort of in the wrong state to do it though, because it's not really pedestrian and friendly all that much. So that's just the way it goes. I'm gonna turn over here because I got the video running. I'm gonna just make it smooth on myself and just turn into this bike lane. Part of the problem with Florida riding is it's like there's some streets with bike lanes all the way, and then some streets with bike lanes partially. It's just not as convenient as other states. I assume it's a lot easier in states like California and maybe even New York, but not as convenient here. So it's probably really good in Miami, just not where I am in Florida. So, but it is what it is. I don't have a car, so this is sort of my only option, because the public transportation system is crap. But I get by and do well. I just really started doing this again. It's a good boost of confidence, oddly enough, because it just kind of allows me to free my head. I don't really look at it as exercise. It's sort of, it's more than that to me. If it was exercise, I would care about reaching a certain distance every day. I don't really care about doing that. So I'll rattle here a little bit. Making sure the phone stays alright. Really kind of dangerous if I lose this phone. I need to sort of nail it down to really have that. I'm gonna turn in here because I can, just to make life easy on myself. Gonna take the sidewalks here because of the video, and not really continue on the main road so much. Once I get a thing to sort of hold the cell phone down, then that'll be a different story. We'll go out more on the main roads. But once this stops recording, I'll be back on the main roads. Sometimes I like to go get lunch or whatnot. I really like sort of expanding my distances, seeing how far I can go within a certain day, and that really matters to me, but not for exercise purposes, just for exploring reasons. So yeah. I use a mountain bike to swim. Basically, I believe it's called a Schwinn Rebel. It does the trick. I like it because it's got all-terrain wheels type deal. Even though we're not really in the mountains up here in Florida, it really does the trick. So, hope y'all are enjoying the scenery behind me. A bunch of trees. Sort of a rocky path we're riding through. Really happy that the phone's staying on while I ride through this path. Really kind of testing out how stable me keeping this phone on here is. So I actually kind of like this. This is kind of cool. I might upload more of these videos. I thought about this as an idea, and I was like, well, maybe this would work. I was thinking about Twitch, but then I don't have a webcam. I don't really have the right kind of program to do that, so I guess YouTube would be my next best route. Yeah, and then when I get like the right sort of thing, I'm not really, you gotta understand, since I'm writing while I'm in the video, I'm sort of both looking at the road and looking at the camera. When I'm on the main road, I'm not really looking at the camera all that much. But if I could just talk to it while I'm going, to me that's good enough for you guys. And then when I get on someplace where it's not as crowded with traffic, that's good. You know, that means I could look at the camera more and, you know, think about what I'm saying. Like here. So as I'm doing this, it's a Wednesday, and I'm really tonight's an all-new episode of Lego Masters. I'm really sort of enjoying that new reality show. It's really creative. If you don't, you know, if you take away, a lot of people just look at it and they see it as just like this nerdy thing, and they can't really look past the nerd element. They can't see the creative, have trouble seeing the creative side in the show. I don't really have that problem, and that's why I like watching it. There's a lot of reality TV I think is crap. This is not in that list of shows. Hoping it gets renewed for a second season. There's a husband and wife team that are doing really well right now. They won 2 challenges ago. Last week they came up with this thing called the Imagiscope. It was like a half an object challenge, and they did really well in that too. The husband's the Lego guy, and the wife's just doing it because he loves them. But he's really a creative guy, and they really work well as a team. There's a lot of teams that have been there's a couple teams that have been griping at each other, and there's some teams that have been doing really well getting along together. However, some of the teams that have been doing really well getting along together just don't have the conceptual ideas to sort of win challenges, which is kind of sad. But tonight they're gonna make tonight's challenge is all about making a Lego movie, so that'll be exciting. Especially looking forward to seeing what the husband and wife team do. The husband's name is Tyler, I believe. I can't remember what the wife's name is, but they're doing really well. Will Arnett hosts the show. He's of course Lego Batman, as well as many other things, but that's his reason for hosting the show. I also watched this documentary on Lego on Friday called a Lego Brickumentary, which is really interesting to see the Lego fandom and what that's all about. And you know, I mean, I played with Legos as a kid, but I'm not into the fandom as you know, much as some other fandoms. And it's kind of one of those things where you get to in life and think, oh, it'd be cool to join this, but then it almost feels like it's too late to join the Lego fandom in life, because it's money and it's expensive, and you're sort of learning how to be a part of a new fandom and whatnot. It's just, I don't want to say it's a lot of work, but you got to add that to the fandoms that you're already a part of, and you want to give each one enough time. I think it's important. So I think what I might do here is go down here and come back, and then just continue my regular ride. I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube. This may or may not get any views or likes or whatever. I don't really care. I do, but you just hit the subscribe button. And hopefully you'll enjoy this. Nice trees around here. You hear the power tools in the background. So anyways, so Lego Masters, and then I go on vacation, and then I come back, and that's that. And also really enjoying season 3 of The Sinner. Watching season 1 at the same time, because I missed practically all of season 1 except for episode 1 because I went away to school. That's a great show. That's got Bill Pullman in it. It's really interesting, psychological, mystery type stuff. I really like it too because it's 1 case per year. I don't really care for detective shows that are 1 case per hour because it doesn't, for some reason to me, it doesn't feel realistic. Because obviously if it was a real case in the real world, it would take weeks and months to solve, maybe even years as opposed to an hour. It's just, it would be different if there was like a timestamp on, like, say, Law and Order episodes. I mean, there's obviously like setting stamps, but there's no timestamp. And I really don't like that because, it would make it much more interesting if it took, Mariska Hargitay 4 months to solve a case as opposed to, the course of an hour. Of course, we're assuming that that's how long some of the episodes go days, but even that, it's like, it still feels unrealistic when it's 2 or 3 days. It feels more realistic when it takes months and years as opposed to days. Some cases take days, but it just seems rare. Especially with the types of cases a show like Law and Order deals with. Alright, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go down here a little bit more and then I'm gonna go back. Start over again. This is gonna just be, I guess, me rambling about something interesting that's on my mind and in my head. Or something that, upsets me or whatever. Hopefully not so much upsets, but maybe upsets. Let's see, what else is good? Well, Doctor Who's finishing up on Sunday. We got The Walking Dead come back this week. I've yet to see episode 9 of season 10. The Walking Dead's kind of pissing me off. I don't know. A lot of people were out a while ago, and I just stick with it. I guess the reason being is characters, but they've made a lot of mistakes. One of them being they've had a lot of trouble since Andrew Lincoln left trying to figure out who the protagonist is of their TV show. I mean, it seems like it's Daryl, but other times it doesn't seem like it's Daryl. And they've made other mistakes too. Like they had a Carl replacement in Henry last season, but then they killed Henry off, so it's like, well, now you gotta find another Carl replacement, and it just doesn't. Finding a new person to symbolically replace the other, the iconic one, is just, it doesn't seem to be working out for the show. I mean, I hate to say that I think Andrew Lincoln leaving was a big mistake, but I mean, I understand why he left. That was his choice. Well, that being said, like, I really enjoy Samantha Morton's performance as Alpha, and I really enjoy Jeffrey Dean Morgan's performance as Negan. There's a lot of new and interesting characters that I really like, but if you don't have the front of the show, it doesn't work. If you don't have a focal point, regardless of how interesting those side characters are, they're still side characters. Alpha's there for a temporary amount of time. Negan is there for a temporary amount of time. But Rick and Carl, even though Rick and Carl are both off the show, and Daryl, they are not supposed to be there. Daryl could have been there for a temporary amount of time. It's Rick and Carl's story. It's just frustrating when things like that. I know Andrew Lincoln chose to leave, but killing off Carl, I believe, was the show's decision, and that one I wasn't really such a fan of. I will say though, that last half season where Rick's in, the last 5 and in the back 3, that season's really well. I think that half season's really well done. I think that whole introduction to Judith was interesting. And I also really like how that whole season as a whole feels like 3 parts instead of 2, because the second part technically begins and ends with the last 3 episodes in the front half, and then part 2 begin, and then the second half of season 9 begins. The second half of season 9 I'm not really crazy about. It's okay. Episode 15 is great. The season finale is boring and has nothing really interesting in it. It's just the characters in winter, and it's not interesting. Big deal. It's winter. It's cold. Eventually at some point it's gonna get cold. It should have gotten cold a long time ago before that episode in season 9. Let's see, season 10, front half. The opener was good. Episode 2 I really enjoyed. Sadiq dying didn't surprise me all that much. And I didn't really find the cave to be that big of a cliffhanger. I'm sorry, guys. Don't worry, I got problems with Who too. I mean, not as big of problems, because Who's fixable because it goes through writers and showrunners every 2 or 3 years. It's not like and that's a changing cast thing anyways, and that show's never really gonna break itself. It's a complicated beast, and it's really hard to screw it up, I think. Obviously, bad writing is something that screws everything up. But the thing about Who is you can have bad writing one week and good writing the next, and it's not like The Walking Dead where it's 16, where it's one continuous story. Obviously it's a story about the Doctor, but it's not one continuous, long story about somebody's life in the same similar situation. The Walking Dead is people's lives in the zombie apocalypse. Doctor Who is the Doctor's life in dozens and dozens of different situations. So Who's still my favorite. Let's see, what else? So you got The Sinner, we got Who, we got The Walking Dead. Better Call Saul came back this week. That show I watched El Camino this past week too for the first time. Better Call Saul is absolutely incredible. It just surprises, and Vince Gilligan's an amazing writer. He really knows the right and wrong things to do in the writer's room. He really knows when to make a good cliffhanger and when not to make a good cliffhanger. To me, it feels like he plans out seasons in advance, which is something I think The Walking Dead should really consider doing. I know it plans out seasons, but it doesn't feel like it plans out the story that far in advance. Also, he does the 10 episodes a season rule, which, unless you're a few shows on TV, I would say 10 to 12. He does 10, but 10 to 12 still works. Unless you're a few shows on TV, I think that's really the good way to go to make a solid season. Yeah, it's short, I realize that, but it's quality. It's the whole quality over quantity thing. Ray Seahorn's been great so far in the first 2 episodes. She plays Kim Wexler. I really like where the Kim stuff's going. Kind of disappointed in some of Kim's decisions because she's a much smarter person than Jimmy is. She should leave him. Obviously, I think she will at some point. Or they're thinking she's going to leave him or something tragic's going to happen to her. I kind of hope that she leaves Jimmy. She's not really... We already had the car accident back in, season 2. There's been a lot of tragedy in the Breaking Bad world, but she's somebody I don't really want to see anything tragic happen to. So, yeah. That's the Better Call Saul update. There's a nice lake I just passed. Just going. If there's any sort of topics you want me to talk about, maybe at some point I'll come up with a central topic, a central theme. Hopefully won't say too many ums throughout the course of this vlog thing I'm doing. Obviously I gotta stick with it. Got an Instagram account, Bunches of Bugs is my Instagram account. You can follow that. Panels to Planets is my Twitter. Follow that. Both of those are completely different things from this. I sort of need like a hub to all my crap that I make, but that's what it is. Because they're all sort of 3 different subject areas. The bug account, the Instagram account has bugs on it, and then you have the Twitter account, it's all comic based, oriented stuff. So, and then you have this, which is like exercise and blah 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 blah. Spit out whatever's in your head kind of content. I don't know if I'll do any sort of exercise or bike tips on here. I'm not really qualified to do that, but I may. He's gonna make the big turn home here. Gonna go take the leap of faith. Gonna go, 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 go. There we go, made it. So, hope you all enjoyed the video. Keeping it going here. Just sort of zoom my ass home. I like having natural sound as opposed to having music for some reason. I think it feels more realistic, and more documentary type. Documentary style. No worries, I get in the hang of doing this. I'm not gonna keep screwing up all the stuff I'm saying. But it's going back. Alrighties. I think that's it. Thanks for watching if you watched. Click the subscribe button. I hope you like this. I might even create a separate YouTube channel for this video. So, anyways, toodles!